everyone, it's Lighthouse Angel Messages here. Welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining me. I'm just doing a collective reading to see what the overall energy is that you need to know about getting your life unstuck and moving forward for your Tuesday. And again, take what resonates, leave the rest behind, and you'll know which part of this resonates because you will feel it. So I went ahead and got the overall energy for the reading from one of my other decks that I was called to. And then I'll pull some more cards and then we'll get some messages from the Lighthouse box to get more clarity, okay? So the overall energy is the bison spirit. It says abundance. Sacred buffalo, cloak me in your wisdom. Keep me warm through the storms of life. Fill my life with goodness. Teach me the way of gratitude and prayer. Okay? And then we have sea turtle, which is protection. You are master of finding life's flow. Be in the harmony with the rhythm of your path will unfold. Persevere and you will succeed. You have everything you need to be protected and happy. And good luck, the ladybug spirit. It says, you are a bright energy. Let worry go and be happy here and now. Feel good about being a loving and colorful you. You bless the world with your color and good luck. And you may be seeing, sea turtles or a ladybug, specifically ladybug, I'm getting. Okay? If you see a ladybug, then this is a sign that this is your message or there's something in here for you. All right, we're going to get a couple more cards to see where this is all going. But what I'm getting from this is that, you are in the divine flow. You're going with the flow. And because you're focusing on your alignment, the abundance is coming in, okay? And you are being protected, okay? If you question whether or not you're being protected by the divine, you are. And so they want you to focus on, the here and now and being happy, knowing that good luck is coming in for you, okay? And I'm getting, like, ladybug is very significant. So you could just be out and about and all of a sudden a ladybug lands on you. Okay, so we got two cards here. It says, you will soon be surprised and grateful for how everything happened the way it did for you to receive better and greater. It's all adding up in your favor. Trust the process and how things are unfolding for you. Yeah, I think, and I'm really getting a strong protection energy with this. And there was, on this first card, the abundance, it's talking about teach me the way of gratitude. And here it's you soon will be surprised and grateful for how everything happened the way it did for you to receive better and greater. Okay? So whatever is coming in, and that's also connected to this good luck here. So you have something coming in for you that's going to be surprising. You don't see this, but you've had a very grateful heart through the journey. I feel like you focused on gratitude where you are and where you're planted right now. Not focusing so much on, the lack, right? The lack of what you have in your life. You're choosing to have a different perspective and focusing on what you do have and being grateful for that. It says, just because something is not happening right now doesn't mean that it will never happen. Divine timing is at play. Be patient and trust the process. Yeah. So there is something coming in for you it's good luck is coming your way, right? The divine is protecting you And this, you have abundance coming in. And again, abundance is different for everyone, okay? Could be money, could be material, it could be joy, happiness, just a different mind perspective. You know, we all have different ways that we define a success and abundance, right? But there is divine timing at play, so know that you're protected. There is good luck coming in for you. Pay attention to ladybugs. That is really significant here. Okay? And you don't see this coming, but it's all working in your favor. Okay? The divine is protecting you. All right, we're going to get some messages from the Lighthouse box and see. And depending on what comes out here, you know, if this pertains to love or career, I can pull additional cards to get more clarity. Okay. So let's see. But I mean, I think the key right now to those, and I feel like you're in this energy where you can feel the shift. You can feel things are changing. Like you can feel that old cycles, those cycles have now closed, and you can feel a shift of something new coming in. But it just hasn't presented itself in your reality. But Spirit is saying it's a divine timing issue here. So you need to focus on the here and now, staying in the attitude of gratitude, and knowing that you're protected and you have good luck coming in. Okay? There is no need to rush. What is meant for you will always arrive on time. Yeah, that's this divine timing. So just because things aren't happening right now, you know, the divine is working upstream. He's working up ahead of you. He's making the moves, shifting things around, putting things in place so that your blessings, your abundance can come in for you. And arriving on time is more important than we realize, right? Because if it arrives one minute sooner or 1 minute later, you know, it won't work out as God is intended. So God always shows up on time. It's always meant exactly in perfect timing. So you need to also really focus on patience, right? Just keeping your vibes high, right? Staying focused on the divine, meditate, prayer, attitude of gratitude, and be grateful for where you are right now, because the season that you're in right now, okay, this could be a season of, you know, that the divine has you in it, like a season of isolation, a season of self-reflection, right? Focusing on yourself. Embrace this time with the divine, because soon that season's going to change, right? So you really have to appreciate where you are and the beauty in that. Okay? All right. So let's see what else. But definitely divine timing. So don't give up on what you're trying to manifest. Don't give up on your visions. Don't give up, you know, don't give up on what the divine has promised you that's coming, because it's coming, right? And I feel like, you know, the divine wants there a level of surprise here. So, you know, you need to release it and let it go and not worry how it's going to work out, okay? Because you are protected here. You got to let go and let God, right? Let go and let God. It says, nothing is permanent. Don't stress yourself too much, because no matter how bad the situation is, it will change. Yeah. Right now, everything in your life right now is not permanent. okay? There is a season of change coming in, but it hasn't arrived yet, right? God's still working out the details. Things are being worked on behind the scenes. So they don't want you to stress because you are protected here. Okay? You are in a good luck energy. You know, and things are going to change. Like I said, it's just a season. And embrace it for everything that you can learn and absorb. You know, just spending that quiet time, you know, with the divine and focusing on yourself without those distractions. Because you can accomplish a lot when you don't have all those distractions, because, you know, that season's going to change and those distractions are going to come back in. You know, when I mean distraction, it could be, you know, new friends, new colleagues, new jobs, new client, whatever it is, right? And you may feel like right now nothing's happening, right? Embrace the peace and calmness of what you're experiencing right now. If that's, you know, who I'm speaking to in the collective, you know, just really embrace that period of isolation, knowing that you're protected and going with the flow without those distractions, and really just embracing that time with yourself and being being grateful for what you have right now. Be the change. Yeah. And what I'm getting with this, because it's the world here, is that the cycle of the past that has closed. Okay, the World card in tarot is an end of a cycle. Okay. I'm also getting, you could have some kind of internet platform, or you're thinking about doing something on the internet. You know, Spirit is encouraging you to be the change. You know, if you've been through something, or you have a creative idea or something you want to express that would, you know, benefit the collective, you know, elevate the vibration of the collective, focusing on the light, you know, be the change, put it out there. Don't be afraid to fail. Okay? Don't be afraid to fail. Because you are protected. You have this good luck behind you here. You've got this good luck with you. So don't sit in your fear. Be the change. Okay? And that change can be anything. It could be a creative project. It could be a workout routine. It could be something you're doing for 30 days. You're drinking more water, or you're doing more meditation. Whatever positive thing that you choose to change, right? It's all leading to the best version of yourself. But know that the old cycles are closed, and now it's time to step in and be the change, right? Not letting the past hold you back anymore. Okay, knowing that those old cycles are done. The most expensive thing in the world is trust. It can take years to earn and just a matter of seconds to lose. Yeah. And, you know, it's all about standing in your truth, right? And when it comes to trust, especially in relationships, right? Trust is what builds the foundation of any relationship. And without it, it's nothing, right? It completely dissolves the relationship, right? And trust is not negotiable. It's non-negotiable. Right? So you need to honor and value the trust, right? As people, you know, as you give that trust to others, right? If they don't value it, or they just discard it, It's non-negotiable, okay? And if someone comes in and apologizes, okay, in most cases, unless they have made drastic changes in healing their traumas and wounds that are causing them to walk all over and cremate the trust, right? There's no room for second chances, right? Because you know your worth, you know your value, and you know that you can give that to somebody who will value and cherish that and honor that foundation. Because even if you forgive somebody who broke your trust, it's like putting back together a broken mirror. There will always be cracks. You'll always be wondering. You'll always be the what ifs, right? You really can't ever make that mirror whole again, right? The only way that you can make that whole again is by taking that beautiful heart, that beautiful trust that you offer, and take it and walk away and offer it to somebody who deserves it, okay? Because people who dismiss or throw away your trust like it's not valuable are the ones that are going to come back and give you just enough to keep you, but not willing to invest, not willing to, just enough to keep you while they still go out and do what they want to do again, okay? It's about keeping you, and so that you can feed their needs, but they're just going to keep doing it again and again and again, okay? So don't accept, allowing a person who broke your trust, don't know you're worthy of somebody who doesn't do that, right? Somebody where you can honor and value that and never have any doubt how someone feels about you, right? Because the trust is so solid. Don't settle for a broken mirror, right? And they'll come back and promise you the world because, you have something to offer that's valuable, but they never intend on changing, right? That's all their MO. That's how they get their needs met. Stand up to your obstacles and do something about them. You'll find they haven't half the strength you think they have. Yeah, if there's something that you're trying to achieve here, sometimes I'm just going to use like a workout goal, but it could be anything. Maybe you have a great idea for a side hustle or a project or an art project, or maybe you always wanted to get in photography, or it could be anything, whatever your passion lies, right? But you feel like there's obstacles in front of it. It could be all in your mind too. Our mind will play tricks on us and start telling us all the reasons why that can't happen, right? But really, that's our fears talking. It's not the truth talking, right? So then once we start believing what our mind is telling us, well, then now it's become an obstacle, right? But you have the strength to move past that, okay? Because don't let your mind get in the way of you chasing down what you're passionate about. You can blow through those obstacles when you realize and can see that you're the one holding yourself back. And it's all a perspective. It's all perspective. We can make a million excuses why something may not work. But how many of them are actually true? None of them. A lot of times, it's just an excuse that we make to normalize and bring comfort to staying stuck. But is that really, is the pain that's hurting you, isn't it more painful to stay stuck than to get up and try? And even if you fail, you try again. And there are no failures. There's lessons. You learn from that, and you go again. And each time you get stronger and stronger. And those don't become obstacles, right? Because now you're motivated. But sometimes it's more painful to stay stuck than it is to actually take action. But we play mind games. Hardships often prepare ordinary people for an extraordinary destiny. Yeah. Maybe you've been through some financial hardship, since this is green here. But, any hardships that we ever have gone through in our life, if you really look back on it, they were meant to teach you something. A lot of people just move through it and don't really give it much thought, but really, it's meant to teach you something. And if you don't learn the lesson, what you may find is like, it keeps circling around. Like, why does this keep happening to me? It's like the same issue, but like a different flare or a different angle. You see it, but it's kind of like the same problem over and over and over. It's because you're not learning the lesson. So it just keeps circling around. It's not until you learn the lesson and apply it to your life that will close that cycle of that lesson that you're meant to learn and grow from, right? But when you choose to learn and grow from what life is teaching you, it can turn into an extraordinary destiny. Okay? But don't let your mind hold you back. Don't let your thoughts, your beliefs, and it says yes, yes, yes. What I'm getting with this is that what's coming in next, you need to say yes to. Maybe you're somebody who constantly is like saying no to things. You need to start saying yes to things. You need to have an open mind. Saying yes to yourself when you keep saying no and creating obstacles. Like it could be something simple like, I'm going to get that art project, that photography off the ground. And then your mind says, no, don't do it. You need to start saying yes to yourself. Yes, I will do that. Yes, I will be successful. Yes, I am going to get that project off the ground. Okay? And I have the Empress. And what I'm getting with this is this is going to, when you pushing, some of you have already pushed through these hardships and obstacles. You are saying yes, right? You've already, maybe already have some kind of business or project out there, right? We have the Empress. That's like, you knowing your worth now. You're knowing your value. You've learned the lessons. The Empress knows her worth. She doesn't chase anything. She attracts. She sits in her vibrational alignment with the divine. She magnetizes everything to her through her vibration. And that's where some of you are now. You're attracting things now, right? But there is a divine timing played in here. You also could be dealing with a Taurus. We have the King of Cups here. And this could signify The King of Cups is very loving, very, very deep, has a lot of depth, very emotional, very passionate, has a very artistic background, also very psychic, very has many spiritual gifts. And what I'm getting with this is that you're finding out what you really love through this journey and this season that you're in. You're finding out what you love about yourself, and also what your true soul's passions are. What your true soul's passions are. You also could be dealing with a Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. Or you could be a Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, or you could be a Taurus. Creativity is intelligence, having fun. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You know, whatever this creative project that you're doing, some of you have already started. Some of you are just getting started. Okay? And you need to start saying yes to yourself for this. Okay? You need to start saying yes and not letting the obstacles hold you back. Because it's going to create an extraordinary destiny. And you are protected by the divine here. And there's some kind of good luck, abundance coming in. But it's a divine timing is at play here. But it's time to get creative. Let bygones be bygones. Anything that has happened, and there's more green here. Yeah, let whatever has gone on in the past, you need to let it go. Just let it go. It could be money you lost, since I'm seeing the green here. It could be money you lost as well. You need to let that go. Let that go. Embrace the new here. It's time to get out and start expressing your creativity. Don't forget to celebrate how far you've come. Yeah, and I'm saying, like, we're all on different timelines here. Some of you have already started this project. Some of you are just in the thinking and process about it, how to get it off the ground, how to get it moving. You're just in the thoughts about it. But you need to keep saying yes. Don't create excuses on why you can't get this off the ground. And some of you have already pushed through this, right? And now your abundance is coming in. And the divine wants you to celebrate, because you've come a long ways here. And I'm also getting with this trust here is that this might have been something that was a lesson that you had to learn from situations in your past, and you need to let that go. Okay? Wow, I got another King of Cups. So King of Cups is really significant here. This is a lot of love, a lot of emotion. And I feel like the energy I'm getting from this is that this is a lot of love that you have for something you want to do. Okay? Or you are doing now. Or it could be a double confirmation that I'm speaking to a Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. But it's time to invest into your passions here. okay? Letting the hardships of the past, anything in the past, it could be financial, let go of it, okay? The divine is bringing in and blessing you here. And make sure you celebrate yourself. You know, I talk about that a lot. You know, we spend so much time, you know, complimenting others, doing for others, sacrificing for others. But, you know, when's the last time, you know, you complimented yourself or did something for yourself, right? To celebrate you as you work on the things that you're passionate about, your goals, your dreams, right? Letting go of the past of maybe somebody who threw away your trust, okay? And be the change. And start saying yes. You know, if you're somebody who keeps saying no to things because you want to stay stuck, you have to ask yourself, you know, are you really happy being stuck? Is that, or, you know, is comfort really making you happy at this point? You know, comfort becomes an illusion because after a while it becomes more painful than it is actually making you comfortable. Okay. But there's a lot of love here. With the King of Cups here. A lot of creative energy. Okay. So that's the messages I have when it comes to the Lighthouse box. I'm going to get one last card to close out the reading. And let's see. And just know that you're protected. If you're somebody who's just getting started on something, some kind of creative project or something, you know, the divine is supporting you, but you need to take action. You need to say yes to yourself and your dreams. You know, don't let other people tell you no. Okay? They're not their path is not yours. You know, you have your own divine mission and path that God has set out for you. It's not theirs, it's yours. So don't let them tell you that that's not the path you should be on. Your soul knows the path. So listen to it, okay? All right. Abundance, yes! Look at that. Double confirmation, abundance. You have abundance coming in. You come into money or receive more than expected, more than enough. Yeah, you are going to have more than enough, which is why Spirit wants you to know you're protected. You're in the energy of good luck here. Again, look at, you know, you may see ladybugs, but yes, the divine doesn't want you to worry here. But divine timing is at play here, but abundance is coming in. Okay? Double confirmation of abundance. So don't doubt that. Okay? Yeah. And at the bottom of the deck, we have resources. Make the most of what you have and use it wisely. Wealth grows over time. Yeah. And that's what I really feel. I feel like I'm talking to somebody who has been doing a project and it's already going, or you're thinking about getting something started. It's like the divine wants you to know that you've got good luck. You have protection. There's abundance. There's stuff coming in. You will have resources, right? But they need you to make the most of what you have right now by being grateful. And every time you make a step forward, especially those that feel like they've been sitting in the darkness of their obstacles, right? and you've gotten out of your way with your thoughts, and you've decided to say yes to yourself and move forward, you need to make sure you celebrate those milestones, right? Every step you take is a celebration, especially people who have been stuck, or felt stuck, or felt like they couldn't get out of their own way, right? Make sure you keep celebrating that, because, every step forward you take towards your dreams, that celebration that you do, or something that you do for yourself, is going to motivate you to keep moving forward, okay? And don't let anybody tell you that this isn't your path, right? Your soul knows the way, and the divine will provide. If he's given you some kind of divine gift when it comes to creativity, whatever it is, it's all going to be different. I'm speaking to a collective here. But in your soul that this is what you're meant to do. The divine is going to provide, but you have to trust. Okay? And you have to let go of the past. Okay? Because, sometimes money is just a resource to take us to the next phase or the next journey in our life, right? And so you've got to be able to release, because God's going to provide, new resources, new money in that new cycle. So don't be upset of what was lost in the past. You just need to move forward, because new is coming in. Okay? And whatever you lost in the past, the divine is going to repay double or, triple more, right? It's always more than what you've lost. So I hope this has resonated with you. I hope this gives you guidance on how to get unstuck and motivated and choosing not to settle for where you are, right? Growing and moving towards the best version of yourself. I hope you have an amazing Tuesday, and I'm sending you so much love and light. Take care. Bye.